Hey everybody, welcome back to the SOLIDWORKS Electrical Implementation video series. This video, we're going to talk about archiving and all the different ways you can save your information outside of the system. It's always a good idea to have a backup. This is SQL based. If SQL ever becomes corrupt or anything like that, it's always good to have that backup. When dealing with your backups, there's a few different things to think about. Every backup file is going to have the extension .tew-zip on it. And we talked about this a little bit at the very beginning of this series. When you are working with all your different types of libraries, they have different extension types associated to them. As we can see here, the extension is .symbol or .sim.tew-zip for symbols. And for title blocks, they are .title. For macros, that's right, you guessed it, macro.tew-zip. Cables, we have .cable. Manufacturer parts, we have .part. For wire termination, we have .tty. And for terminal types, we have .tst. Now this is new for 2021, so unless you are using beta, then you will not see this particular item in your system just yet. In addition to all of those extensions of tew-zip, you also have .proj, .proj.tew-zip, and then lastly, what you have is your environment archive. So the environment archive is the be-all, end-all of archiving everything in your entire system. It will capture every single thing you have in your system. So when somebody says, hey, did you do a backup? This is where you would want to do the full backup. Now, you may not want to do an entire backup every single day or maybe once a week. In that case, maybe it makes more sense to do a backup of individual projects that you can save off into another folder somewhere. But in order to do an environment archive, you have a couple different options that you have available to you. There's obviously a window, a selection window, and there's different options as far as excluding just the projects. So in this case here, I can include everything in our libraries, just not the projects. I can do everything. I can pick dates. Maybe I want to have do an archive between right now, September 3rd through August 3rd, the last archive. So I can pick and choose the times I want to do this. So there's a lot of different options on what information I want to capture in that backup. A lot of folks, what they do is pretty much they'll go through and get everything. Doesn't matter what it is. They want to capture it. It's a backup. Why not just capture everything? The one downfall with that is the more projects you add, the more information you add, the larger that backup is going to be. So be prepared to have a multi-gig size file when you're done that you're going to save off somewhere. You also have the ability in 2021 is to run it through the Windows Task Scheduler, so you don't have to manually come into the system and do this environment archive. You can have it set up to run using Windows Task Scheduler, this environment archiver. So those are the two main ways to archive your environment. Again, I do recommend doing that on some sort of schedule, whatever you feel comfortable with. I can't tell you when and how to do that, but that's to your own discretion. The other type of archiving essentially is what we call a project snapshot. Now, this is specific to projects, not the entire system, where now I can come in and essentially just say, hey, I want to take a quick snapshot of all the progress being made in this particular project. We've added 5 new sheets this whole week. We've got 5 new circuits, 1 on each sheet. We deleted 3 things, we added this, we didn't do that. So you can take a quick snapshot of what's going on, give it a description about maybe things that happened during that project period of time, and it will keep track of all those different snapshots. You will also have the ability, you might have seen it, I have it turned on. In my case, there's a little pop-up when I turn on my projects to say, hey, let me know, do you want, let me know, and I'll give you a pop-up to say every 7 days I want to create a new snapshot automatically. You can also just ignore it when it comes on like I do. I shouldn't, but I do. So you can have that turned on or off as necessary. So those are the handful of ways to save your data and replicate your data and save it off for just a precaution. So I hope this helped. Just a quick understanding of the different types of archiving that you have available to you and doing an overall system backup of the entire environment. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.